Okay. Yeah, I just oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
It lets
it's
me know that you're
super
recording.
easy.
Nice.
Um, so do you just want me to do the one I usually bring through Ethan?
Ethan, I didn't even know there was a name.
Yeah,
Honestly,
he has a name. Do you just it's the same
Ethan.
people as Bashar
Okay. The
uh,
same
and Tyler and all
species.
that. Yeah, same
Yeah.
species.
Nice.
I'll,
And
if you have anyone specific that you'd like to come through, just ask a question. He's usually good about like um, the session will be about 45 minutes, so
yeah,
it will bring up a little thing that will tell us, hey,
yeah,
you
like there's a warning coming up like your
so
session's about to end.
when that comes up, just go ahead and make sure you have your last few questions.
Yeah, wrap things up. Yeah.
So okay, give me a sec and
Okay.
I'll go into it.
And once again, thank you for doing all this. I
Oh,
appreciate it.
absolutely. This is fun. Give me like 2 seconds.
Gotcha.
How are you today?
Hello.
Good day,
Uh you I can refer to you as Ethan.
Ethan.
Ethum with an M.
Yes, it is slightly different than what you would normally refer to as the name Ethan. It's to make
Okay.
you think differently about something you normally would hear, to think of it in a different way, to more think in the ethereal state. It is
Okay.
more of a reflection and connection to the idea that we are all in that state already.
Okay.
It's there to also teach you about your reality in a more positive way, as thinking there are things that are familiar and also thinking about things that are slightly different from the normal idea of what is Etham is what I use through this channel. I do not currently have a name. It is the name that was given to the channel so he could communicate and or be able to communicate with you and the ones who would wish to interact with me at this time.
That's really nice to hear. First off, let me just say thank you, and I'm very excited to be here. So thank you for channeling and whatnot. I do have a ton of questions, and perhaps
I am
hopefully
not
you'll have a ton of
channeling. The channel is channeling. I
right,
am
right,
channeled.
right. I'm thanking you for being here for allowing the co-creation of this event.
Yes, we understand.
Thank you. So hopefully you have a ton of answers. Um,
We'll see.
real quick, is there a way you can do like a quick reading on me as a person?
What way specifically?
Just reading on my energy and like I don't know, like an overall reading. Is that even
Are
a
you
thing?
asking for a health reading, or are you asking for a vibrational reading? Or are you asking for a connection to a particular lifetime that connects to you, who you are as a person?
That the last one right there sounded very interesting. Uh, yeah, let's start off with a connection from a the lifetime.
We are reading, one moment. We are reading at this time a connection to a lifetime 200 years in your past. You were someone who died early. You were not on this continent. You were more in the Asian subcontinent. You died doing heavy labor, connecting to the idea of how you connect to your world in the physical way. So in this lifetime, you chose to more connect in a mental way. That is what we read.
Okay, so heavy labor is my life ended as heavy labor. That's kind of I find it slightly ironic because in my current lifetime, I think it's really important to be like physically strong and so I do weightlift every day. So I feel like maybe that sort of balances out not being, you know, strong enough for such heavy labor, and maybe in this lifetime my body's a bit more capable.
Yes.
Uh okay. Do you, coming into this channeling state, do you know anything about, or did you know anything about me beforehand, or is it
No,
all just synchronistically happening
it is
at the
all
same time?
synchronistically happening. We are reading your vibration, your frequency with those who choose to interact with the channel. We are reading you through him
Okay.
vibrationally. We are bringing elements of your higher mind through us to communicate to you the information that is needed.
Thank you. That's really cool. Um, I remember in Kenneth's chat, I asked the question if he could do a quick reading on me, and I believe he pulled you through. And my vibrational cycles per second was mentioned, and then on top of that, there was a being that wanted to connect with me, and I got instructions to the next time I had the chance to sit down quietly was to think more about the color green, align with the color green, and think of a peacock. I got a chance to sit down and think about it, and I didn't really see anything. I was wondering if I could get a bit more clarification as to how to reach this being that's trying to reach me.
The idea of the peacock is something flashy, something spectacular. It is more the idea of connecting to your heart chakra. You are learning to display yourself and how you communicate to the world. You are learning to connect to that aspect of who you are as a person to help you. It may not necessarily come through in the verbal way, it may come through in images. It is there as a way to think of it as a phone number for you as a being to actually interact with. It's more of a meditative state, as something to think about, as a symbol to focus on in a way that you as a being are more able to talk about the way you communicate to the world.
Okay, yeah, that it's, I don't know. It's really exciting as you tell me this information, because it's like you have bits and pieces of, you know, my actual personality with the reading. It almost like it's confirming any sense of doubt that if that could have been there. It's just, it's like confirming that, like, that there's a lot more layers to what you're saying.
Yes.
Um, okay, so we're just gonna move on to my first question. Do you, can I have like a, like the real backstory to like the dinosaurs? Because I know like we found skeletons and all that, but I'm not entirely sure if, you know, the meteor was theoretical or if that was really what happened. I was kind of interested into the origin of like what happened to the dinosaurs, like the true story.
The dinosaurs, as you refer to them, were beings, were creatures on your planet that existed. They did not evolve past the point in your reality. They had diseases that was passed among the different species of animals. There were environmental reasons for them to be dying off at that time. There was a volcano going off in the Indian subcontinent around that same time period, causing it and making it hard to breathe. It also had the idea of the final nail in the coffin that ended up being the asteroid that crashed into your planet. The ones that did survive continue to evolve and are what you refer to as birds.
Huh. That's why chickens have, or that's why science has told us that chickens have DNA of dinosaurs.
Yes, the closest living thing to a T Rex, as you know it, is a chicken.
Wow.
Yes.
Um,
They have done genetic experiments on chickens and other birds to de-evolve them, and they start growing beaks and they start experiencing life in the particular way that you know it to be. They also started exhibiting the idea of teeth, as well as they start exhibiting the idea of much larger bodies when they do this.
um, I think I had another question. It just slipped right by me. about so is it true that dinosaurs existed before humans did?
Yes.
Is through a linear standpoint?
Yes. You as a species have only existed on your planet for close to 350,000 years. They existed many years prior to that. Most of what you refer to as ancient footprints of what looked to be human were not humans.
Ooh, it's quite interesting.
Yes.
Um, okay. I'm just looking at my list of questions I have here. I want to see which one. Um, oh, what do you look like?
I am short in terms of what you would understand a human to be.
Okay.
I have some light blonde hair on the top of my head. I also exhibit the idea of the universe in my eyes, in my actual physical eyes. I am quasi physical in nature. So I shift between being physical and purely non physical. But you would see me as someone that is quite short in stature with these deep blue eyes that shift in between having the galaxy and these piercing blue eyes to gold as a representation of the pure exaggeration or response to what it means to be physical, and also expressing the idea of non-physicality at the same time.
That's pretty cool. So you express quasi physical through your eyes. That's actually really cool. You know, throughout this entire agenda of eventually becoming to be able to meet aliens, I hope to one day in the future to have an alien friend. I just think that would be really cool. I feel like we would, me and my alien friend. I just imagine me and my alien friend just talking for hours or hanging out.
Who says you're not already?
Am I in my dreams?
Yes. Many times you currently are interacting with beings on other levels that you have known for many years.
You know what? This is a good segue into my dreams. Um, there's been a few times. Okay, so I never got a chance to meet my mom's best friend, because she had passed away before I was born. And my mom's best friend's children we know as our cousins, and we're really close with them. Like I said, I never got the chance to meet her, but one day in my dream, it felt like she had came to me and we had a conversation, and I didn't see her, like a physical body. It was just a very tall blue like spirit. There was no physical one thing going on, just one tall blue light basically. And I spoke to her, and after I had woke up and told my mom about it, my mom picked up on the details of the story and was like, yeah, those are the things that she did. So am I really capable of seeing, people have transitioned from physicality to non-physicality? Am I really capable of like seeing them in my dreams?
The idea that you are not capable of it is blocking your idea and understanding that you can see those things.
Okay. Because recently also my neighbor had passed away and I had seen him twice now. And
Yeah.
again,
That,
I just think it's amazing.
that should confirm to you that you have the ability to do those things and be more open to the idea and the experience to know that they are not necessarily negative in nature. So you are able to actually express the idea of what it means to be able to communicate with spirits. Because remember, the hybrid children themselves, they are able to communicate with spirits all the time. Anyways, you
Okay.
you are approaching the idea of what it means to shift up to the higher frequencies, because when you are in those states, you are able to communicate with beings like us and with more higher vibrational beings. You do not truly die when you leave the physical form. You just
Right.
shift frequencies to a higher density where you are less dense in nature. So you do not necessarily need to have a body.
Right. I'm glad you brought up hybrid children because I'm pretty sure you might know what my next question is. Do I have any hybrid children? And if so, how many?
You have very few.
Very few. Okay.
Energetically, as we read it, you were born past the time when the genetic material itself was being taken. You are here as more of a climatization part of the agenda, as far as being able to actually have children. You are able to be here during the time when they will start to come and live among you.
That's what I'm talking about. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Um, okay. I'm just gonna ask you straight up. What's what's in the poles? What is in the Antarctica? What is I because all countries have restricted travel there, and I just really want to know like what's going on.
There are, at various times in your past, you have had extraterrestrials on your planets, yes.
Yes.
There are remnants of different places around your planet that have ruins of actual extraterrestrials. Being that it is a frozen land, the structures that were there at that time are well preserved.
Okay. It's was our poles have they always been like cold or frozen, or has that like has something frozen everything to keep or preserve everything that's up there? Like, has it been frozen or was it always like that?
Your scientists already know that it wasn't always frozen.
Okay.
At this time, the way your planet is placed around your star, it actually just exists that way. You go through cycles where it is thawed and more of the actual land is exposed, and then
Okay.
other times where the ice itself reforms.
Okay. So with that being said, um, how is global warming affecting any of this? Or is global warming affecting anything?
Global warming itself is a natural cycle that has been
Okay.
sped up through human intervention and human technology.
Okay.
But you know also in the past that you have had much larger glaciers on your continents, on your planet, where the water level itself was much lower.
So is global warming necessarily a bad thing? Like we should be trying to fix this, right? Or
It is
is
a
it
natural cycle.
okay? So you're telling me not to give into the media trying to scare us into like we need to do this, and that.
The water, by the time we fully land and you are actually interacting with us as a species, will be higher. You already know this. You and your scientists already know that the water level is going up. You are starting to see people relocating because the water level is making it so the places they lived for many years are no longer habitable. This is a natural cycle.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. So now I no longer I don't have to worry about living in fear about like a whole doomsday event happening due to global warming.
No, most of what you see in your media, whether it's fear based in nature, is merely a representation of them trying to guide you down a certain path energetically, emotionally, spiritually. You are the one who gets to choose what you as a being would prefer to experience. Yes.
Yeah.
You can define each situation, each person, each bit of information you want and you experience in whatever way you prefer. Yes.
Yeah.
So choose a positive one. Come at it from a more neutral place so you are able to neutralize the effect of it being rather either overly positive or overly negative,
Okay.
because you are the meaning giver to everything in your life. You are empowered to be able to choose and redefine those things that are possibly fear-based in nature. Yes.
Yeah. Um I'm glad you said that because recently I for the past year or so I've been starting to look at things a bit more positively. I got to I don't know, I feel like I started to learn a lot more about what's going on the planet. And at first I was somewhat like scared or at I would say probably a lower vibrational frequency. But then I started looking into like Bashar and all these different types of uh spiritual like knowledge. And it's starting to really change my outlook on life. And I view things from a more positive point. And I've been experiencing a lot more of a positive outcome. So thank you for preaching what you guys have been preaching.
We are not preaching, we are merely sharing information.
Okay, that's a better way to put it. Um, oh, here's a question that has more to do with my family. I've noticed, and many of my siblings have also noticed, that people tend to naturally come to us and they feel comfortable easily just to spill all their problems out. Or not really in like in a bad way, but they feel more open to open up about their problems to my family, like specifically. Like we've noticed whenever people come to visit us, whether they have trouble dealing with their emotions or not, they tend to be okay and open about it to us. They're more likely to open up about it to us than like other people in their lives. Is there like a specific reason for that? Like, are we like sort of meant to help people get through bad dark times or whatever? Like, is that something that runs in the family?
As we read it right now, your family carries a particular vibration that is comforting to those who need it and gives them an open space in which they can connect with you and connect with beings that they know will listen. It also is a frequency that those who are sensitive to the idea of energy, even though they may not necessarily say it out loud, they know they are safe to be able to say those things from a heart-based place and be listened to.
Okay. Yeah, that really clarifies. Yeah, it's just people come over and they open up and we're like, oh, that's like, and we try to help them out, and it's a really good, it's a really cool thing. Um, oh, has have we been or my household been visited at all by any kind of extraterrestrial being? Um, whether it's in the physical plane or not, have we been visited and shown signs at least that we could have made possibly overlooked or whatever?
You and your siblings, prior to your births, were made energetic modifications to make you more compatible. And also, you as beings, when you incarnated, you went through the Arcturus gate. So you do not completely forget what it's like to be in spirit.
So
You have
that
more of a connection to the other side that is just natural to you.
yeah, I can kind of feel that. Um, okay, this one's I'm gonna throw a curveball at you right here.
Go ahead.
What is your thoughts about my humor? What have you been able to pick up anything on my sense of humor?
That was a joke.
I'm sorry.
That was a joke.
Oh no, I'm talking about in general. Like in the past, I've my sense of humor has been going through many phases, but now it's just straight up just goofy and random, and I like slapstick things that make absolutely no sense, but just for the fact that it makes no sense.
You're
Um,
returning to more of a state of a child, which is the more enlightened state.
really,
Because you find the more simple things funny.
yes.
It is a reflection of where you are energetically. You do not need the complexity that comes along with a lower vibrational state. So you can find humor in the more simple things.
Okay. Yeah. A lot of people they just look at me and they're like, dude, you have like the weirdest sense of humor. And I mean, I don't take offense to that because I know that to their standards, it is pretty weird, but like I find it even more funny that they view it that way.
You humans make us laugh all the time.
Okay. Um, oh, uh, has there been any, let's say like ETs that's have been studying me in particularly? And if so, I would like to know their thoughts on me as a person, just to have like a perspective as their views on me.
You specifically at this time are interacting with one.
You?
Yes. I'm not human.
Right.
I am coming through a human, but I am not human.
Right.
You
Okay,
have
well then
you have attracted the synchronicity and the ability to interact with an extraterrestrial at this time. So you are able to reach a place where you're able to communicate with them and understand this is possible. You do not necessarily need to go and become a channel, but you know that they're there. They're there to help. You're interacting, and the vibration and the frequency that you're putting off attracts you to the particularly positive ones that match the frequency that you put out. Yeah,
yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, I'm freaking like shaking right now because this is very exciting to me. I even tried taking deep breaths earlier because I'm like, all right, I'm getting pretty amped up, and I'm like, I joined the meeting early and everything, and I'm just sitting here like I'm just trying to calm down.
How exciting.
It is very exciting. Oh, okay. Here's a question I've written down. Why am I so scared to astral project? I feel like I've naturally felt myself about to leave my body. I would get scared and I'd be like, no, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. So I'm like stopping myself. And then I come back. And there's been one time when I'm pretty sure I actually left my body and I was like, oh snap, it's happening again. And I opened a pair of eyes that was not my physical eyes. And I saw a purple, like everything was purple, but a set of eyes looking back at me, like a purple wall. I would describe it as a purple wall with a pair of eyes looking back at me. And right before I brought myself back into my physical body and woke up, I saw that. And then I was like, that kind of made me even slightly more scared. I'm like, what the heck was that thing? So I'm I just need a way to be able to astral project and like be confident in the fact that I'm astral projecting. So is there any pointers you can give out?
You are perceiving and connecting to the non-physical aspect of yourself. What you are perceiving is the energy of your crown chakra, and your higher self was viewing you in the astral realm, because the your full higher mind is not purely in the astral realm. It's kind of like you as a being existing in physical reality. You existed and you perceived more of yourself. Many humans on your planet have been told that those things are evil, those things are scary.
Yeah.
They have not been instructed that you every night travel all the time. You go experience things in other realities and you work out things on the astral realm in order to decide what you're going to experience inside your physical life. Yes,
Yeah. I feel like I've been seeing the future in my dreams sometimes. And
you're lucid
that's
dreaming.
another question. Oh, that's
You're
another
lucid
question. You can
dreaming.
continue.
You are lucid dreaming.
I love flying in my dreams. I hope to one day be able to like learn how to fly in my physical body, but
We
not
fly in
entirely sure how to
ships
do
all
that.
the time. It's fun. We
All
levitate.
right.
We do all sorts of things. We do whatever
Levitate.
excites us in the moment.
You should like teach me how to levitate. That'd be pretty cool.
In your physical realm at this time, because you are not a correct vibration to experience those things, it is not relevant.
Ah, dang it. That's fine. I'll just do it in my dreams. That's fine. That's fine. Um,
Yes.
oh dang. I see the 10-minute mark. I have like two more questions, I believe.
Absolutely.
Okay. So in my dreams, it was had something about whenever I see the future in my dreams or I get a future vision of some sort, and then I completely forget about it until it happens in real life, which is could be way later down the line or it could be the next day, right? Um, I the bits and pieces of my dream start to come through. And I've learned instead of calling out, oh, the deja vu, instead of calling it out like that, I've heard that I should just let it play out and then I'll be able to connect with that frequency more often and see
Yeah.
more of the vision. So once I've started to do that, I started to realize in the dream when I first saw it, I was talking to somebody or some being and it was giving me information of where I was in that point in my life. And
You were
then
speaking to your guides.
my guides, really?
Yes.
Do, do my guides have a name? Like, do they have names I can refer to them as?
Do not be stuck on the idea of titles or
Sorry.
label.
Okay.
Know that the information is coming through in the way that it needs to.
Okay.
Just know that it will come through in its own timing, because in physical reality, you have time space lag that only allows you to experience time and process that you cannot experience when you're in non-physicality. Remember that bring the information and ground it into your life itself so you are able to fully connect to who you are as a person, and
Okay.
understand that that is the point of right now. It's not so much about shifting outside of your body. It's what they used to do with pyramids and in the astral realm during the Atlantean times. It is there to have the understanding that you can travel. You do not necessarily need your physical body to be able to do those things. And when you quit defining the idea that it is negative or it is scary, and just know that is your natural state, you will be able to travel. You'll be able to go experience more things and bring information back into your physical life. It's important to remember to ground that information that you have and that you receive in those spaces into your physical life. This will be the last question for tonight.
Okay. All right. That's fine.
Do you feel complete?
I had one more, but it's completely, totally. I can probably try to squeeze it in if I ever get another chance to speak with you.
Yes.
But thank you, Ethium, for this whole experience. I'm still shaking. It's really cool.
Good.
I hope to see that you laughed at least once throughout this.
That was,
Welcome back,
that was cool.
dude. How was it on your end?
Um, it's it's super relaxing. Hold on a second.